Hello, guys, welcome back once again to this new tarot reading to follow the Stray Kids individual readings for the members. I'm going to do Hans today, um, and I have seen a little bit of his birth chart, and I believe that he is Virgo with a moon in Cancer. Um, I think there are two Virgos with moon in Cancer, so but I'm looking at I'm connecting with him, with his energy. Later when I do the other member, I will connect with his energy as well. And despite of them sharing the same sun and the same moon, it affects and it influences in a different way. Um, so let's start with Han and the archetype cards that came out for him. He got guide, lover, and a student. So actually, the guide card it's a really lovely card in the sense that he I'm sure he's not the leader because I had read, I believe, for the leader. I think I started this series for him, but somehow I have the feeling that Han has a kind of influence in the leadership, or at least he has a kind of role, maybe for organizing and somehow collecting information. I have like this sense of him being part of a process, and that actually he's everything he brings to the table is really valuable in sense of intelligence and in sense that he is very smart. I have this feeling of him being really smart and really structured. Like he has a way of seeing different points of view and being like the organizer of those. And he also has a great memory, which it's very Virgo like. Virgo nature is to be actually very good, because since they are ruled by Mercury, it makes sense. So I believe that his guidance comes from a place of wisdom, comes from a place of being an observer and having a good memory and collecting information that has been provided for the group. But somehow it's like their energies are so different and are so dynamic that there are members that actually don't pay a lot of attention to details. So it's good to have Han in this role of guidance, because he does pay attention. He's actually very intrigued. He's a very curious mind. So he is like, he has sort of like a radar, like an antenna, something that he's like, when it comes to words and information, he pays very close attention. And he's also able to see if the facts are actually accurate. I mean, I have the feeling that he's really serious about it. He doesn't like to talk nonsense. I mean, he is very like, he pays a lot of attention to the meaning of words. So the other card that came up for him, it's lover. So he's very loving, and he actually loves to give and receive affection. And since this is also connected to the guide archetype and to the next archetype, the last archetype, that is a student, I have the feeling that since I'm getting a lot of like intelligence, knowledge, information, I have the feeling that his lover nature comes from a place of actually loving to be in the process of learning new things, of like gaining knowledge. I think he loves to be a student in life, not just in a particular career. He loves to be in this student mode, in this student archetype, because he's like really interested in like gaining information, but it's like he doesn't hold on to that information very tight. He is very curious about how maybe some information somehow discredits new ones, or new ones discredit old ones. So he's really interested in the process of who comes up with the ideas, who comes up with the facts, who does the research. So he's really profound in that way. And I believe that for him, being a student in life is also having the opportunity to be amazed and to be like connected to knowledge, but from a higher force. I have the feeling that he's really analytic because he's a Virgo, but somehow his moon in Cancer makes him really sensible, very profound, and it's like everything that he learns, for him it's like a treasure. For him it's like a very beautiful experience. It's just that it goes through all his senses. It's not just about being a know-it-all or being really smart and saying, oh yes, I'm the smartest. um and he's also really humble about what he knows. I believe that um it's like he knows more than what he lets other people see of him. um I don't know if he is going through a period where he's considering like studying a career, or if he is in taking online classes or something like that. But I hope he does, because he's really smart actually. um it's not to discredit the idol life, but actually I find that his um all his personality traits, I think it would be best for him to use it in an academic way. So maybe just keep putting efforts towards a career, an intellectual career, and not so much on fame, because somehow fame is so, I don't know. Fame is uncertainty, and fame it's ups and downs, and fame it's like always hanging from uncertainty, and always like almost exposing yourself to either be great or either be a failure. So I believe that for him being so intelligent, I think it would be wiser for him to keep studying. And also because his soul needs it. It's in a very soul vibe that he needs to be in contact with knowledge. It's not just for like I said, for being like, oh yes, I'm smart. No, it's actually for his own pleasure, for his own development as a human being, as a person, as an individual. Um, I feel like somehow he does hide it, because he finds that maybe people would make fun of him if he actually displays how much he loves to learn. And he's really quirky in the sense that um actually yes, he shows interests in subjects that maybe are like, they're not weird, but they are complex and they are a bit boring for other people perception. So somehow he's like, he wants to talk about it and he wants to share it, but he knows that not everyone is able to understand. So it's not coming from a place of being cocky or being like I said, like a know-it-all. It's just coming from a place that, oh yes, I like weird facts, or I'm interested in weird subjects that he called them weird, but they are not weird actually. They are complex. But he connects with those, so it's nice to know that, and he loves it. I mean, for him, because of the lover cards, for him, knowledge is love. So, if he loves you, he would probably share information with you. I mean, if has some kind of loving affection toward you, he will probably like share what he knows with you or tell you something to help you. So he's very generous in that way. So let's start with the cards that came out for him. It's uh, the Two of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Fool, and the Six of Cups. So he's really confused about connections, emotional connections in general. He's actually going through a period where he's like shutting his emotions a little bit, like he's like trying um not to show a lot of emotions, because he feels like somehow he has to protect himself or protect his loved ones. So he's like not wanting to talk about it, to talk how he feels, because there's this feeling of combativeness in an intellectual way, where he is angry about something. He's angry about uh, how things are going. It's just that he feels so helpless in a way that it's like he feels that yes, they win one thing and then they lose another. So this turbulence, this always ups and downs kind of roller coaster emotional vibe, it affects him in an emotional way. So somehow he tries to not show his emotions or not be too emotional, because he doesn't want to offend other people. But he's like tired of always feeling like he has to defend himself from other people's perception. I believe that maybe it has to do with the group and everything they had been through all these years. It's like they gained so much, like in a from their fans and from their hard work, and at the same time it's like something unexpected happens. And actually it's since he is very in touch um with information, I believe that what upsets him the most has to do with the media, or has to do with the web, with the internet, with everyone making comments online. So I have the feeling that maybe he does look for comments on internet. So, and it's like he's hurt by some comments. It's like for him, actually, critics is really hard for him to let it go. He knows that he's not supposed to be watching the comments, especially the mean ones, the negative ones. But he somehow finds himself doing that, and he just then he feels really angry, because it's like he cannot understand why there's so much haters, why there's so much people that has this kind of behavior where they spend their life or their time like writing really harmful and really negative and really mean comments. um and it's not about him, it's about the group. It's about that He, but you know how it is. Sometimes hateful comments, it's like they strike on you the most. It's like they impact you the most because you cannot believe that someone took that time and effort to write those words. So I believe that maybe that's why he feels so anxious and so angry and so emotional at the same time, because I have the feeling that this anger that he has comes from a place of emotions, comes from a place where he feels like he feels very protective of the members. He feels very like motherly kind of vibe. He feels maybe he does not show it to them, but he really cares for the members, like in a very emotional and like in a very intense way. So for him to see critics towards the group or towards members, he feels it really deeply and really personal. So sometimes he needs to, like, I see him like getting pulling away from watching, but somehow he does watch it. So and it gets stuck in his mind. So he needs to do some healing in this sense. But at the same time, I see the other cards. It's like they are working really hard, and I believe that they are going to achieve a new beginning. For them, a very passionate new beginning. So he will feel during these months, despite of feeling really down, he also will feel really victorious. It's like, I don't know if maybe being in this show, they are going to gain, they're going to achieve a lot, or they're going to achieve opportunities. So there's going to be a lot of new doors for them, and very passionate projects, or at least projects that he feels really passionate about, and that he is going to be able to pour all his emotions and creativeness into the mix, into these new beginnings. So I think that even though they are going through moments of uncertainty, I think that this is not going to last long, that actually they are going to enter a new phase very soon. um, it's just that they have fears because they are human. We are all human. We all have our fears and insecurities. And for him, the internet, for him, because I believe that he's really passionate about technology. So it's like he's connected to this. So he definitely needs to do something else and not to be maybe involved in that technological, because it's like it leads him to this opportunity to be checking maybe the comments and stuff. um but yes, they are going to enter a new phase. He's going to enter a new phase, where there's also going to be a lot of uncertainty because it's going to start anew. It's going to have to do with a lot of adaptation. So he's going to feel a bit like not emotionally prepared. Actually, he wants to start anew, but there are fears inside of him. um I don't know why, but there's something about him that he's like, oh, I wish I could go back time to where we used to be. It's like there's something about him actually maybe missing, being homesick, or missing the early years where he started all this. It's like he wished he could go back to that instance. He's very nostalgic, actually. I have the feeling that he's someone that is always thinking about the past, and about how he wished they could have taken the opportunities that they had been delivered to them, and that somehow the result would have been different. So he regrets a lot, um, which is not a comfortable place to be. Actually, he needs to be able to let go of the past a little bit. But there's something about him being really nostalgic. Um, and his energy is like telling me that they had lost so much, And I mean this in a very emotional way. I don't mean it I don't mean it in a material way, like lose money or something like that. No, it means that, and maybe for him it's personal. Maybe what he's trying to tell me is that he also lost opportunities or lost a lot of emotional connections with people because of his profession. So maybe that's why he's feeling like sometimes he feels helpless, in the sense that um, he is very emotional, and he's also very creative, but he cannot stop feeling about all the opportunities that he missed and all the opportunities that were ruined for him in an emotional way. And also, this has to do with that maybe he feels lonely, and that he tries to act like it doesn't affect him, because I have the perception of him being trying to be really rational about it, to be really like trying to collect his thoughts about a certain situation and being like, oh yes, maybe this happened because this and this and this, and oh yes, this happened because of this. And actually it's not about that. I believe that sometimes things happen for a reason, and that somehow what other people's decisions are, even though it affected him, it talks a little bit more about their own persona than what he is actually. He is someone that actually he ponders a lot about the past, because he cannot believe that there are people that are not loyal, that there are people that they are not humble, and it's like they do not appreciate where they came from. He's someone that honors a lot his background. He thinks a lot about his roots, where he comes from, what led him to now being in the place that he is right now. So he's really reflective. He is someone that reflects a lot about the meaning of life, about very philosophical also. So when he is like, I have the feeling that there are a lot of absence in his life. There are a lot of people that are no longer with him, maybe friends that somehow distanced from him. So he's thinking about that. He's reflecting about that, about how sometimes fame can be so lonely. Uh, Despite them being surrounded by a lot of people, when it comes to what he finds in an emotional way, he somehow feels um, like there are some connections that are not 100% true or profound enough, so he doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't even know if he can trust himself. So that's why he tries to be rational, because he doesn't want to get too emotional. Because once he gets too emotional, he becomes too sensitive, and he becomes to feel really anxious, and it's like he just wish he would be able to maybe have more real connections with people. So maybe that's why he's thinking about his childhood, or his his childhood self, because he's like, oh yes, I'm a grown up right now. I'm an adult. I grew up a lot. Professionally, I have learned a lot. I have my goals. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I have a lot of ideas, but I don't feel supported enough in an emotional way. I don't feel like I have the emotional support that I crave, that I need. So he needs to do a lot of soul searching in that sense. He needs to maybe open up a little bit more, because I have the feeling that maybe people around him are not aware that actually he's this sad, or maybe that he is asking himself all these questions. But he's someone that holds to the past really tight. And he's like, he sometimes, it's like he daydreams going back to those instances, going back to those brief moments of happiness, according to what he thinks happiness is. So he needs someone. I believe that he's feeling lonely. He's feeling lonely. He needs emotional support. And he's trying to be, actually he's trying to be really, he wants to rationalize it, because actually he doesn't want to sound weak, but he's a child inside. It's like he has this connection with his inner child, and somehow his inner child is talking to him, and it's like, I think I need this. I think I need to feel joy again. I think I need to laugh. I need to enjoy myself. I need to appreciate little things. I need to eat my favorite homemade food. I need to do fun stuff. I want to laugh. I want to laugh so much. And it's like he's not finding those little moments. But he needs to do some healing. He needs to do some healing, because he's really emotional. But in front of everyone else, he's like hiding those emotions. He's like acting all smart and all like, oh yes, I got everything under control, and act very like he's really good with words also. So he's like, maybe he's like being sarcastic about emotions. He's like, oh yes, I'm emotional, but now I'm not, like going in and out of that stage, because he's also very, his mind is really fast. So for him, it's not easy to stop thinking about certain things. And but at the same time, he doesn't want to worry others. He just wants to move on. He just wants to be in a place where he finds that emotional security. I don't think he's feeling secure right now. He's feeling like he's doing his best, but he just needs, I think he needs to be spoiled. Like, when you're spoiled by your parents, because this is what I got when I thought about homemade meal, like homemade food, when you go to home and and your mother prepares your favorite meal, your favorite food. He needs loving, actually. He needs a lot of warm hugs and kisses, and he just needs to be safe. He needs to go back to this safe haven. He needs to go back to home. He needs to go back home. So I believe he's going to do everything he can, but I think he needs some vacation, some holidays, or some break. I don't know how they say it in English, when they take a little bit of break, because he cherished those moments. And he wants to connect in an emotional way. So, but I believe he will, because he had the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So there's a new chapter when it comes to his emotions and his emotional world. So I don't know. Maybe he needs to reconnect with his roots. I think the emotional fulfillment that he wants so bad is in his hometown. There's something about his home, where he lives, where he grew up. I don't know if he has like childhood friends. There's someone that is really important for him, that is not family related, that lives in that town. and he's thinking about that. He's thinking about that connection. He wants to go back there because of that connection. So I don't know if it's a female, I don't know. But there's something about his hometown that he wants to go back to. His emotional self is like, I want to reconnect with this person. I want to start over. I don't want to spoil opportunities anymore for myself. I want to be brave. I want to be brave and to be able to tell this person how I feel. Because there's a lot of regrets about not being able to speak about his true feelings. So, probably there's someone special out there, but he wants to go back there. Because I had the feeling that it's not just about families. It's something more emotional. There's something else there. So guys, I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you do enjoyed this reading about Han. I don't know a lot about him. So it's good to connect with his energy, to get to know him a little bit in a deeper level. So thank you so much for being here, and for all your support. And like I always say, if you want to give me some kind of feedback in the comment section, I appreciate it a lot. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.